Yes, in the last video I said I wasn't going to show you how to run Scalpel in Photorec because I'd like for you to get used to learning how to do this on your own. And I know I've got a lot more experience than most of you in doing this. And so let me go ahead and just show you how to work with the configuration files, particularly for Scalpel, to help this run a little more easily. So I know that as soon as I said that in the previous video, there was a lot of hand wringing and heart started beating faster. So let me just show you a little bit how to run those. Okay, so let's install Foremost. And that's very easy to do because, well, first of all, let's make sure that Foremost is available as a package. Now this says it's installed, and yeah, that's correct because I had installed it. If you type which Foremost, you see it's in user bin, and it puts a configuration file in the Etsy directory. Whoops. And foremost.conf, note that the Foremost configuration file is provided to support formats which don't have built-in extraction functions. And you can read this all yourself. It's a good way to understand how the configuration file works. But let's just go down and see if there's one for Word. You see that it has the header for Word right here. If you want to find JPEG, let's go back up to the top. And if you look at these hash marks over here, these indicate that all of everything after the hash mark is a comment. Now I've gone in and I've deleted in front of these three entries that says JPEG, I've deleted the hash marks, which means that this will extract the JPEG files. Carve, here's the header in this column right here, and the footer in the last column. So you would obviously save that, and obviously you would go in and uncomment out anything that you want to recover. Let's go back up to the top just for a second, because it says simply run Foremost with -t in the suffix and provide the format that you wish to extract. So we could also do that there. So we could try it both ways. So let's go back to assignment 3, and let me delete something really quickly because I've already run this and I know what works. So we can run Foremost -i, the name of the file, and -t, and let's put in JPEG and doc and PDF, and let's see if that works. Okay, and that's really all you get. And this process really quickly, but if you've got a hard drive, what you're going to see is this is like an indicator of it working. So you'll see multiple asterisks right in here, so it may go on and on and on and on. This is only 1 megabyte, so it's almost instantaneous. And so it creates a directory called output. And we'll look in here, and son of a gun, there's a doc directory, a JPEG, and a PDF. Let's look at that audit text. And what does it tell us? It tells us that what configuration file that used, the output directory, the start, the link. This is all really good information, right? The number. And notice that these don't have file names. These do not have file names. Why might that be? Because we're actually assuming this is data carving, which means it only uses the header and, if existing, the footer information. And so we're assuming that the FAT or the master file table has been overwritten, so it really doesn't care about the file name. So it writes it out numerically. In here, the just a name with the extension. And it actually says it's recovering 3 JPEG files. We look at the sizes over here and notice that 41, 41 underscore 1 and 2 are the same size, and it has the same offset, so it looks like it's recovering this 3 different times. That's very interesting, right? The PDF is 12 kilobytes. Notice it says the offset here. And then the .doc file, 937K. Does that seem right? Does that seem right? No, because it was a very small file. Well, if you go back up to, let's just look at, let me see, what's an underscore. Right here, it's not listing a footer. So what this is essentially doing is it's taking that number of blocks. Let's go back up and see the size and the size of the number of clusters and grabbing a lot more than it should. But let's see if we run the file command on this. That all looks correct, right? Oops. Very interesting that it got that many files. All JPEGs, right? Let's run SHA-1SUM on those. Looks like they're all the same. If we go back up and look at the original, whoops, let me do one more. E1259D1 and so on. You'll notice that this is the exact same SHA-1SUM. Let's go to PDF directory and recover the PDF, and let's run SHA-1SUM on that, and then let's just cat this. And is that the same? 3B, 6B7, 3B, 6. Okay, so those hashes match, right? So let me ask you this. Will the Word document match? Will the Word document match? Let's look at the size of that that file. 22016. That's much smaller than what was recovered. Correct? Much smaller. So we know for a fact that that's going to be different. There's the original hash, and that's the hash. But can we go in there's the file. So we can recover the contents. It's just that there's a lot of extra space at the end of that file because it doesn't have a footer. In this case, it doesn't have a footer. So did it recover the 3 files correctly? Well, it was a perfect match for the PDF and the JPEG file. Let's just go in and look at see if we can open the PDF file. Hello world. Okay, so the hash matched, and obviously it should open. I just wanted to prove it to myself, right? You want to prove this stuff to yourself. Can't tell you how much time. Okay, and that's all the same image. It's me cave diving this. I'm just taking photos of somebody cave diving this weekend. So that appeared to work. So did it Would you say it was a success for the .doc file? Well, we can read the contents, correct? But the hash is different. So whether you call that as a pass or fail is open to interpretation. So, okay, let's look at Photorec. See what that does. So I'm going to test disk directory, and let's look at readme.txt. It doesn't have anything in it. Let's look at the readme file. And we can scroll down to see if there's anything useful. Notice up here, these are the claims of the file system with which it works. So DOS, NTFS, Linux. It doesn't say ext4 here, but you could try that, right? Try it, see if it works. The Mac OS X based file systems, oh, it looks like it does almost every file system. And the reason is because it should be file system independent, because it's only working with headers or headers and footers. And then the types of files. The thing is, notice all the different types of files it works with. Let's say I come up with my own file system, Kreger's files, file format. If I came up with my own, and as long as it had a distinct header and footer, I could put that in the configuration file. I could list it somewhere, and it should recover it because it's only dealing with headers and footers. Okay, so let's look at Photorec. Let's make first a Photorec output directory, and now let's go down into directory where it is, and you could copy this. You could copy Photorec static to a directory in your path if you want. In fact, let's go ahead and do this. Copy Photorec static to user bin. And so if we wanted to search for that, it tells you where it is. You can CD back up, and now we can run Photorec static on assignment3.dd, and that's all you need to do. Okay, does that look correct? It says select media. Well, it's already selected. Notice that proceed is highlighted at the bottom. This partitions as a FAT12. And notice that we have search selected on the bottom left-hand side, and it says start file recovery. To recover lost files, Photorec needs to know the file system type. And notice that the top is for Linux, and the others are for non-Linux based system, but it includes FAT, so we can click Other. Scan for files from unallocated space only, or extract files from the whole partition. We can select either of those because they're deleted files, but let's just select, we'll select free. And now we want to select a directory. We want our output, Photorec output, enter, and click C when destination is correct. Type C, and it says 2 files were saved. Interesting, 2 files. So maybe there's one type of file that it can't handle. So let's see what it was. So you see the directory, it's right here. So it recovered the doc and the PDF, but did not get the JPEG file. And let's try to see if we can problem solve that. So let's do the SHA-1 sum on these. We'll just do them on all. Okay, is the 3B, it looks like the, let's go up here. Excuse me, cat. So interesting, it grabbed the .doc file correctly. It grabbed the PDF file, but it did not get the JPEG file. Let's see if we can go in and open up. Oh, let's do this. Well, we know that's the correct size, right? Because this is the original SHA-1 sum, and that's the same SHA-1 sum, so we know it's the exact same file. I just Googled Photorec, and this is what came up step by step. And at this juncture, if we looked at the file options menu, we can go in and indicate what types of files we'd like to recover. So let's go and do that in here. Let's go back here. Let's So let's rerun Photorec static and assignment3.dd. Okay, proceed, and let's go into the file options, modify file options, and then we can use the up and down arrow keys and the space bar to select the types of files. In fact, let's keep all these. Let's see what's going on with the JPEG. There's a .doc right here. JPEG picture. Okay, so you see all the different types of files that it can recover. And let's quit this. And quit again. And let's go up to I made a copy of this. Assignment3.dd, and let's run Photorec on this. Assignment3.dd. We'll walk through this, and now this is with the non-deleted files. Let's just see if we can carve, if it works any better. Let's extract files from the whole partition since there's no unallocated space. See, 2 files saved. Okay. Select quit. And it exited normally. Let's go into, and they're the same files. Let's just run SHA-1 sum on them. So interesting. So Foremost was able to grab all 3 types of files, although the .doc file it recovered more than it should have, whereas Photorec was able to recover the .doc and PDF with the correct SHA-1 sum and didn't recover the JPEG file. So that doesn't necessarily mean that Photorec wouldn't work in other circumstances, because I can tell you that it does, and it can carve out JPEG files. So in this instance, I don't know why it didn't. So it actually may work for you, but that does kind of should serve to give you some pause about just using a single tool, or not validating a tool and solely relying upon the results of that single tool.